before it starts. But we would still honor the same prices. We would do it as an agent referral plan, honor escrow rates, which is what's in our booklets. But there's just that 30-day wait. That's the only difference. So, any questions on that? All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. No.
You have his number?
All right. What? What'd she say?
It's like,
Oh.
All right, so we're signing up for Zoom because we have a surprise Zoom coming in. As you guys know, we have some major investors. One of the biggest ones, his name is Mr. Steve Ryder.
Hey Steve, it's Bailey.
And you guys know who Steve Ryder
Just want
is?
to check. We have the
He's
Zoom
about to
room
go
up and
on
going, so
Zoom
whenever
Steve
you're ready
Ryder
to join, we
just,
can get you up on the screen.
made out of what, 185,000 plus agents for a company. His
If
team
you just go
number
to
three, top 3 in the entire United States. Actually,
Zoom
out of
with
all
KW
three of
Lakes.
partnerships with every single country.
.com, that'll take
So
right there.
Steve Ryder, top 3, is with us in this market center. He teaches classes. How many of you are on Train the Trainer? What do you think of his classes? How many of you guys have taken a class with Steve Ryder? Raise your hand.
No, Zoom, just
It's doing
it's trying to
phenomenal.
start. It's Zoom
Right?
with KW Lakes.
So he's trying to get on the Zoom right now. We've had it hooked up. Everything's good. Oh, there you go. So anyways, he's gonna make a connection to the bit, but someone else I want to give some floor time to really quick is Mr. Phil Williams. Please come on up.
Yeah.
Phil. So you guys think about KW Lakes, you gotta recognize this man.
Not a Facebook
Before this building was made, right?
Absolutely.
So you came to us.
No,
met
no,
Mr.
it should just be
Share your
just
KW
Zoom
story.
with KW Lakes.
Okay, so my KW story was I worked at Century 21 for about 38 years. My father brought the Century 21 Corporation to Lake Elsinore, and he had 13 offices with his underneath his brokerage. So I thought that I was raised with a guy that knew everything in real estate. I thought we just had it down. Real estate's just buy, sell, this is, all that sort of stuff. I met Roxanne. Roxanne, I don't know if she's here.
Tell him
we
I'm
call her
emailing it
Roxy.
to him.
She decided
I
to
just
leave
emailed
our
him.
company and went to work. She met
Okay, we just sent you an
Sophia,
invite.
fell in love with Sophia.
So it should
and
come
went
on your
to
email too.
Sophia.
That's not working.
So she called me up and said, hey, come look at my new office. I thought it was coming here. Roxy actually talked me into going up to Canyon Lake, and I bumped into Steve Ryder. He bumped into me, and however that goes. And if you've ever met Steve, you'll find out he's a very dynamic individual. And he hustled me off the side and says, you need to come work for us. So it took about 3 months. Got it all squared away, and I came to work with Keller Williams. I've earned more money in these past 3 years than I have the previous 15 in Century 21.
Wow.
All due to Keller Williams being as big as they are is due to Steve Ryder helping me and to Sophia. And Edson and Alman, they work for us also. All the investors here, with the exception of Sophia and Steve, were at one time members of Century 21. But the systems and things that you put in place here will make you money. And last, I think it was 4 months ago, I earned in 2 transactions with 2 real estate agents making a year on average. Yeah, and it's due to Keller Williams, right? They've got the names, they got the people, they've got everything out here. All of you that have chosen to work here, you have got all the opportunity in the world to earn as much money as you want. You can grow as big as you want, you can become statewide, multi-state, anything you want to do, you can do through this office. So very happy to be here, and I'm glad Roxy tricked me where she is.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the video back in.
Yeah, okay.
So I've actually tricked you into coming here. A lot of you got tricked in the video. So one of us. That's awesome. So you guys, I want to just give a shout out to Phil because not only has he been, we have Steve on the board, but really quick before I introduce Steve Ryder, one more shout out to Mr. Phil for being the go-to incredible broker of record who's constantly on call. I'm here for you guys. He doesn't just sit or show up once in a while. He's here every single day. Can you hear us, Steve?
I can hear you.
Awesome. So I already told him I gave you a little bit of shout out. Not only that, but Mr. Steve Ryder founded, and you guys are going to hear about it in a bit, the new Home Ambassador Program. Unlike its kind at the time, he can partner with some new constructions and new builds. Not only that, I'm gonna say that again, he's number 3 in the entire company in the entire world, you guys. This is a big, that's a big deal. So congratulations again.
All right, guys, I really appreciate you guys letting me be here. Just want to go through a couple of things. First and foremost, I am super proud of all the leadership, all the agents, everybody that's banded together to make the lake what it is after 3 years. So congratulations, give yourselves a round of applause. Now, we need to keep up, keep doing it. So there's 3 things that I'm going to mention today. The first is new home ambassador. This will teach you how to sell, list, and market a new home product. So we've built your websites. We're now teaching. We're introducing a lead generation program that's working. We tried it in the Menifee area with Claudia, and we just spent like $20 for 1 week, and she got 9 leads. So if that's any indication on what we can do for the office, I think we're going to have a tremendous success. But everyone needs to get involved that wants to sell new homes. The whole office needs to create the perception that you guys are dominating the new home industry. And so with a lot of the right proper tools and the right training, we will absolutely help you guys become number 1 in market share. The second thing I want to introduce is starting on Monday, April 4th. It's my 100-day foundation for success. I'm very pleased to announce that we have several of the leadership in KW the Lakes that has learned, that is not only learning currently through the Train the Trainer program, but will be assisting me train the program in April. So on Mondays for 4 weeks in a row, I'll be teaching 100-day foundation for success. And every Tuesday for 4 weeks in a row, 8 to 9, I'll be teaching 5 steps to 50 million. And we've added some new virtual stuff and some new materials that you definitely want to attend those classes. So that's 3 opportunities for you guys to really pick up the pace, bring in lots and lots of money, fill up your wallets before the summer, because I'm coming out in the summer and I'm going to be teaching you guys in person. So I really look forward to it. Say, yeah! Thanks.
All right. You good?
Thanks, Steve.
So we're gonna-
We're on the Zoom.
I know, thanks, Steve. All right, so we're gonna keep them on Zoom and take it off the screen share, right? Yeah, all right, we're gonna keep the Zoom up, take them off the screen share. All right, you guys, so here, Thomas, you guys are here for the legacy agent panel, right? You can just have for sandwiches? No, it's me? Okay, I'm gonna stay. Got some seats up here, do you wanna fill it in, you guys? Who's gonna come be some, we have a whole front row open here. We have some seats over here. We have a ice table over here with Soto. She doesn't bite. You guys want to come fill in? Please, people are holding back there. Bring it in here. Don't be afraid. Whoever sits in the front row, we're going to start with Skip first. All right. So I'm really excited about the panel, you guys. We have what we call legacy agents. We're celebrating our 3 years being open. And this physical building has only been open 2 years, and one of them was COVID. So you guys are breaking in this new building. Middle, okay. So there's a lot of moving parts. I really do want the OP Sophia to come up here and do. We're gonna give her a shining light about. This all started with an idea in her head. And she was an agent with KW, and she says it just started with an idea. She was approached from the region. She's like, I'm gonna open KW. It starts with an idea. Then she had to convince people that idea with agents. And she had to find the right partners, the right space, the right people, and the right agents. So I'm proud to call her my mother, my mom, right? Because she's a really inspirational woman. Really inspirational. Not only has she gone through situations physically with her physical health, she's overcome it. It was never an excuse. For the longest I can remember growing up, she was constantly working, sick or not, in the hospital, many things happen, made the ball roll. And we happen to be lucky, she's our OP, and she's in here every single day, so let's introduce Sophia Chacon.
That's right.
I don't know how Kate Dr. Lakes was born, and everyone should be her panel of
Hi, everyone. Yeah, Kid of the Lakes was born. It was just a thought on a napkin, you know? And then if you guys are wondering where the lakes names come from, it's because you're trying to think of a cool name, right? And Lake Elsinore, like I wanted to be cool, and the territory is Menifee Lakes, Canyon Lake, and Lake Elsinore. So like that's where it was born from, right? Nothing special. So I just want to thank all of you that have been part of our journey this whole time, for believing in us and the vision, and hoping that we're able to contribute and add value to your life by being here. It is just, we're really excited and grateful to be in business with all of you, and look forward to just watching each of you achieve your personal goals and your dreams and your success and achieve things. It's really fulfilling, and it's really it's just really exciting for us to see the growth you've all been experiencing. You know, just remember that the toughest words come out of the toughest times. Okay, so don't forget that. The days are not easy sometimes in this business. We constantly clash, right? We're constantly in a battle. You wake up in the morning, you're like trying to get the client, trying to get your offer accepted, trying to find business. Like, so you're in this environment, so it does take risks, and it takes a certain mindset of a warrior to really succeed in the business. Because you get pushed down every day, and it's not easy to develop that mental toughness. Okay, it is not easy, and many can't do it. That's why we have an 85% failure rate in this industry. Okay, so if you're here, you get up and you just ask yourself, hey, when people go low, we go high, right? When do the right thing, like follow your culture, because at the end of the day, you will always win, right? So it's an honor, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. No one succeeds alone. This would not be possible without our amazing team leader, Jay. She's in here without Mr. Phil Williams, with Jacqueline, just Bailey and Kirsten and Janae, where are you?
Janae right there.
Woo,
Yeah,
so they got a lot of work and effort goes, and all these little things take time, and your trust is very important to us. So thank you guys so much for being part of our family, and continue to help us grow. Thank you.
So we have a panel, we have some special guests here, Cal, people you already know. The first team up is the team with score gold, individually each, which is the Gutierrez team. Please come on up, Aurora. Aurora, woo! Stop the balloons up close there for a little bit. All right. Secondly, they were the #1 team last year, right? Or group, sorry, group. All right, you guys, I messed it up too, okay, sorry. So we have the platinum group, which is led by the powerhouse baddie, Elena Flores, get up here. All right, next person up on this panel, I'm really proud, is someone that we all know has saved some butts multiple times. Maybe you guys have called her at 9 p.m. or maybe called her at 6 a.m. Jacqueline Copeland, come on up. Our very own OGs, Mr. Jerry MD, come on up here. Awesome. So the way we're gonna do it, you guys know I like to do interview style panels. It's not like a answer this type of question. How many of you guys decided on my question here in my panels? Supernatural, right? They're not boring. It's not like, gee, it's horrible stuff. I know a lot of you have shared your KW stories before. So I think we'll start off with just explaining a little bit about yourself. Just really quickly introduce yourself. If you have a team name, and was it born at KW, and KW story about your team. So that's right. So
I am on the Gutierrez team. Just hold it. I'm on the Gutierrez team with my husband Hector, and we have an admin. Her name is Belle. Hector's been here a little bit longer than I have. I actually started with loans, and then he convinced me to move over here. A little bit about how we got to KW. we were at a different, or Hector was at a different office, and I actually saw Sophia speak at an event. And I remember I came home and I was like, oh my God, there's this woman and I'm gonna be like her one day. And I told him, like, her name's Sophia, and then one of these days you watch me, I'm gonna be like Sophia. And so one day he gets a call, a recruiting call, and he's like, it's Sophia. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like fanning out. I'm like, say yes, but he's a hard sell. He's not an easy, sale at all. So after a little bit of work, he came over here, and then he realized that he needed something else on his team. So he convinced me to talk to Sophia in person as well. And then Sophia got me over, and ever since we've been here, I mean, he doubled his income from being a solo agent, and when I joined, we doubled that. So we've just been doubling every year. So hopefully, or this year will be a big year for us.
Yes, it is. Woo!
Hi, I'm Elena Flores. I've been in real estate since 2010. I started in lending in 2003. So my KW story is I was at a brokerage with Edson and Alma, and they said, hey, we're starting this KW over here, and I'd love for you to sit down and meet Sophia and kind of get involved. And I love what you do over here at this brokerage, but come see what we have to offer. So kind of fast forward, it took me about 2 years to really make the decision, which I know in speaking with a few of you, it took you a moment to make that change. But so when I left that other brokerage, I was closing 13 transactions a year. And now moving to KW, I have more than doubled my production. Yeah. And I knew I wanted to start a team at my old brokerage, and they said, yes, we would help you, but never helped me at all. So I said, you know what, I gotta go. I gotta do, nothing was broken. I just had to do what was best for me to elevate myself. So I'm happy I'm here.
Okay, so I'm Jacqueline, and I've been here since the old building. How I met Sophia was through my brother-in-law, and he was at KW Big Bear and said, hey, they're opening up a KW in Lake Elsinore, and there was a KW in Canyon Lake at one point, and it went out. And so I was like, oh, I don't know, because it wasn't Sophia. Yeah, exactly. So I called her and she invited me to Red Day. And so I was all about Red Day. Like, that's my heart. And so we volunteered at the food pantry, and I signed up like the next day. So that was my story coming here. I started in lending as well, like the two before me. So I have a lending background. My husband and I ran a loan office for years. And so I have that knowledge, but now I've taken it into real estate here. And I mean, I always did real estate transactions, but now I get to help a lot of you agents do your deals, which is the best part of my job. So, yep.
Well, thank you, everybody. I'm glad to be here with you. I'm Jerry Emge, and if you don't know my last name, it's simple. It's EMGE. Everybody screws it up, so don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if you do the same thing. I'm an electrical engineer by education, and I've owned an electrical company for over 45 years. And about 4 years ago, I decided to get licensed in real estate, and I said, well, this might be something I'll do in my retirement days, And so that's kind of how I got into real estate. Now, the only person I really knew at that time in real estate from a Bible class I had been in before was our old team leader, our original team leader here, Chris Paul, who's now at KW in Escondido. But so I called Chris. I said, hey, Chris, I just got licensed. He said, Jerry, the timing is perfect, because he said, I just got hired as the new team leader for a brand new office in Lake Elsinore. and which is where I was living at the time. So everything just sort of fell into place perfectly. So I became one of the original people at the old Canyon Lake area office. And it was really a Spartan environment at the time. We didn't have chairs. Sometimes we had to borrow chairs. And it got pretty ugly at times, but we had a lot of fun doing it. And the food was always good. That's one thing about KW. Food's always going to be good. And you know what? We saw Steve Ryder, and Steve was very, very involved in those early days in person. And he taught those classes, the 100 days and the 550 million thing. So I took both of those twice. And so you hit the ground running with training at Keller Williams. You don't have to worry about that. Because I have friends who have gone to other agencies as soon as they got licensed and got zero training. They might have been handed a pamphlet or a book and said, there's your training. So, you know, you're in a great company for that. I had several health setbacks the last few years that, you know, kept putting a false start on everything I was doing. But the one thing I did a couple of years ago was I started making videos. So I make YouTube videos. And if you're a new agent, especially, look at my YouTube videos, because I teach a lot about real estate in general. I don't talk about properties or anything like that. But just go to YouTube and type in Jerry Emge, and you'll find my videos. I've got almost 100 videos up. And you'll get some really good knowledge about it, because I talk about a wide variety of real estate topics. Meanwhile, I'm happy to be here. I can't believe it's 3 years, because it actually was 4 years ago when I joined Keller Williams. So I don't know how that all works out. I see.
We moved in here 3 years ago. We got approved in April of, like, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
We got approved all the, but we don't count the time when we're in our humble beginnings.
Well, I still count that time. See, I still count the time because that was my beginning to this whole thing. So it was a very important time. And I remember the first red days and all that really just had a big impact. There you go. There you go. Anyway, I've got 2 escrows going on now, so I haven't given up on everything. So everything's moving right along. Thank you very much.
You're never slow, it's never too late, right?
That's it.
Like he's crushing it. You can hold the mic. Oh wait, I do need it, right? Okay. I think I talk loud enough, but I'll talk close to the mic right here. Is this loud enough? I'm just kidding. All right, let's yell. All right. All right, everybody. So let's get to the questions, right? So I think like the biggest questions, like every panel, like Sophia says, you have to be reminded more than you have to be told. So I'm just gonna dig a little bit deep. I know you didn't expect this, but part of, I know her face that she just made. I really want to deep because this is called the legacy panel for a reason. I didn't say how to make $1 million panel or anything like that. It's a legacy panel because you're a legacy agent and a lot of eyes on you. So when you first came here, what would you say your mindset was like when you first came here, and what changed and what shifted to create the life that you have now? And I'll start with you, or whoever else we're on to first.
As far as mindset is like ridiculously different now than it was then. Like it's crazy. But my mindset when I first started, honestly, like we just didn't want to be broke. Like we were just like, let's just do some deals. We have income properties. So we were just like, let's see if we can just figure this out. But if you know my husband and you know me, like we don't like to lose. We take that really, really hard. And so once we got in it, we were like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right. And we were surrounded with the right people. So mindset, we came in thinking, let's just not lose. Once we met and realized the powerhouses that were around us in this little room with folding chairs, we were like, oh damn, like we're like this small, like we're not even thinking that big. Like we weren't even thinking about a team. We weren't even thinking about, you know, $100,000 used to sound like a lot of money. And now we're like, oh my God, we're broke, you know? So it's like that mind shift is everything for us, because if we were to tell you our goals now, people who don't get it, they think it's like overdoing it and like why do you even need that stuff? And we're like, don't worry about it. You know?
What is your financial
Oh,
goal?
this year is 600,000. Yeah. Yeah, so, and we realized too that we only didn't make that last year because we weren't focused. So like, it's crazy how your mind shift switches depending on who you're around. So that was big.
Congratulations.
So my mindset was just crazy. When I came to Keller Williams, it was just from 0 to 100. What I do have to say is when I first came, I was like, what the fuck did I do? It's like, come on, Kelly, this, that. I felt like I'm not very tech savvy. So the tech side of it, I really struggled with. And it took me like a first good year to really get, I'm like, okay, just focus on your business and you'll just get the technology as you're going through. So it really took me a good year to really be comfortable with KW as far as with all the technology that they offer. But the mindset is just, there's no comparison. They teach you how to be a business owner and to think business rather than just think real estate agent. So that's huge.
Okay. So I can get personal, right? Okay, so when I came in 4 years ago, I was at a point in my life where my identity is still a mom, but I worked with my husband, but for him technically. And so I got my broker's license and was gonna just kind of span off and do things like not do loans with him, but I really wanted to build a business myself as well. We had built this company together and, but I just didn't have the mindset to do that yet. Like I didn't have the confidence in myself to do that. And so when I connected with Sophia and she invited me to Red Day, I was like, man, this is such a big, like I could see myself here. And I'm a broker. Like I don't have to be at an office. I could work for myself. But I can tell you if I wasn't here, I would not be doing, I wouldn't have been given all the opportunities I've been given and the confidence and growth that I've seen in myself in the last 4 years just to help other agents. Like I would have never dreamed of that I would be helping other agents with their businesses. And so I think the biggest it is a mindset thing and you can limit yourself based off your experiences or past, life experiences or what happens to you in life. But for me, coming here was one of the best decisions I ever made because it's grown me to realize I can build that legacy for my kids and not that I'm not going to do that with my husband as well, but I'm capable as a woman business person. I never had that before. It was always, I felt there was a limit on that. So I've really grown here. If you don't come to Deals and Heels, please come for the women. It's very good to help kind of refocus your mind to the things that matter to us. And obviously Guys and Ties, I'm not there, but I know that's good for them. Yes, so that's what I would share.
Yeah, I'd say my, excuse me, my mindset since becoming a realtor and joining Keller Williams, the only place I've ever been is Keller Williams. So I can honestly say that my mindset is just to build a business like I did in the past. I had over 250 employees at one time. And so I know what it's like to build a business from zero to hero. And I thought, well, okay, I want to do that again, but I want to do it in a different business. So I'll do it in real estate and we'll see how that goes. If I live long enough, I'll do it. If I don't, at least I tried, right? So I'm not worried about it either way. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being around vibrant young people. It's just amazing to me. And that really keeps me going, if you want to know the truth. I come in here and I see people and I chat with them, and you can't do that in some businesses like you can in real estate. It's a very solitary business, don't get me wrong. Each of you out here know how solitary it can be, but you got to lean on each other to pull together the vibes you get from everybody. And so I'm really looking forward to the rest of this year and all the future years as this office continues to grow. You know, Sophia mentioned you have a high failure rate in this business, and that makes sense because anytime you're in personal sales, there's a high failure rate. Trust me, not everybody's cut out for it. But for those that stick it out and learn and grow, I've always been a commission salesman my whole life. You know, I think I had a short, maybe a half a year period where I was in corporate world. It's always been commission only. So I know what it's all about. And trust me, if you stick it out and grow and use the tools that are given to you, you'll just be amazing. And you can be amazing in your own way. If you're being amazing by selling 4 homes a year, then you're amazing. If you're going to sell 50 homes a year, you're amazing. It makes no difference. Set your own level of amazement and then go for it.
It's funny because as I hear you guys speak too, none of it was really corporate structured, right? They make fun of us realtors and say like, oh, we're corporate dropouts, right? Because it's true. Corporate dropouts. If you imagine if you guys had to clock in and out again.
Or ask for days.
Or ask for days off. I mean, I can ask you guys that. Imagine that, asking for days off again. You can't even imagine it at that point. But and that's gonna bring me to my next point. Was there ever a time when you felt really low? Right? Because I'm getting really deep with this panel. So that kind of goes, it went perfectly. I'm so glad you said that, because falling into that, you know, we see you, you're super successful. We all look up to you. I still look up to, I've seen all of you guys grow. It's crazy. I've met you when you're a lender. I'll never forget that. But anyways, really proud of each and every one of you, especially Jerry. Like a lot of you are intimidated by technology, but he's one of our most techie agents, right? So making it light of it, but to dig deep again, was there ever a time where you felt that you might go back to that corporate world, or a time where you doubted yourself? Like a lot of you said a couple of barriers that went into it there. And as women, I'm sure that you hit that barrier yourself. You said your husband was in something and your husband was here. So my question, you can have it fit you in whatever way it fits you. I guess for you mainly, Aurora and Jacqueline, would be like, how did you break out of that as a woman to step up into your power? And Elena, what barriers did you face too? And the same with you, Jerry. So I guess take whatever you want from that and let us know.
Oh man,
That made sense.
I hit barrier. I'm hitting a barrier today. Like I hit barriers all the time. So when I first started, my story is very similar to Jacqueline's. I was just like, kind of like hired before to be like, I don't want to sound conceited, but like a pretty face, like that you can put in the front, and then they would come and close the deal type of thing. And I was like, I no. And then I was working, and then it was like more of assistant work. And I was like, I am nobody's assistant. Like, this is not gonna work. But it was really hard to get out of that because I was so I'm very loyal to people who pour into me. Like if I find some kind of value, I feel like I owe them something, you know? So this person taught me a lot. And so for me to leave, it was hard, but I was dying inside because I was like, I'm nobody's shadow. Like I should be in the front. I need to have my own cards. Like I need to have my own stuff going on. So that was like the low. And Hector would see me come home and just be unhappy. Like I was making money, but I was very unhappy. So that's when he's like, you need to talk to Sophia like every day, until I finally did. But the other low was honestly joining Hector's team was like hard, because here I am coming from lending and he's sending me to all these classes. I'm doing Steve Ryder's class, I'm doing Ignite, I'm doing all these classes. And then I go and I'm like, babe, like, why are we not doing this and this and that? And why are we not? And he's like, don't come in here and change I've been doing just fine. And I'm like, then don't send me to these classes, you know? So we were bumping heads like you wouldn't imagine, like crazy. Then we went to career visioning, which I would say saved our marriage and changed our life, because we were really crashing out. And that's one time where I was like, I'll get a job. Like I was like, I don't need to be here, you know? And it was one of those things. So I would say that was one of that starting off with him was extremely hard because we're both drivers. And at that time, I thought, I'm going to help him with paperwork, you know, but here I am putting myself in an assistant position when I'm not an assistant. I'm a driver too. So figuring that out was like huge. And that's how we ended up doing more production than we thought we would and all that. And I'll just share today, you know, he's off the grid right now till Saturday. My admin is out and we're busy as hell, you know, which is great, but it's I would say it's kind of like a moment where I have to be like, okay, this is what I've been wanting, right? This is what I've been talking about basically since I've been up here. So it's my turn to like step up, handle the business so that when he comes back, he can see that it didn't fall apart. You know, I have the capability too, and he can go do other things and make us grow in other areas. So I'm excited about that. So every time we have a setback, it always gets better right after.
Oh, beautiful.
So for me, I think the lowest part or the time when I felt really down was I had always wanted to hit that 100,000 mark career at income as a woman, and just in doing it just me. And I hadn't done it. And in real estate, you know, it's tough. And I would come home and I would bring all my troubles and problems of real estate to my husband. And he's like, well, you haven't hit that mark that you wanted to hit. I think you should just go work somewhere for someone. So for most of my adult life, I had been just like Jerry, self-employed and commissioned income. So I'm like, I know I can do this. I can do this. And the fact that he told me to just go work at CVS or something like that, I'm like, not that that's bad. It's just not me. And so I just said, you know, it was hard. My husband doesn't support me in much of the real estate, and going to the PSI, I told him the company paid for it. And I'm openly sharing this. I lied to him.
You go, girl, you get there no matter what.
Because he would tell me, you don't need to pay $500 for somebody to motivate you. He would, you know, so he doesn't understand, but now that he sees the income that's coming in and the level where I'm at, now he doesn't, it's like, you want me to pack your bag? You want me to pack a lunch? You know, he's supporting me, you know, 100%. But I think it's just the fact of not having my husband's support. That's the lowest time for me, because that's when you need it the most. Mhm.
Okay, so I have a couple. When I joined KW 4 years ago, I was probably, you're gonna make me cry, Jay, at the lowest point in my life. My husband got diagnosed with an autoimmune. So it totally changed our life, because he was, you know, worked a lot, like crazy hours. And so it changed our life. And I just realized that, you know, as much as I want him to get better, and he has to put in the work to get better, I can't control that, but I also need to take care of myself and my kids. And so that was a really low point, and I just realized I needed to do something for myself. And that's, you know, when I joined KW. So that was like a low point to get me here. But being here this last year, most of you that are in PC with me, that was really hard. It's been a growing year for me, because I feel like I failed daily. But every morning I get up and tell myself, I can do this. I have the support behind me. I have amazing agents that I get to work with every day. And, you know, it's hard because you guys challenge me. Juan challenges me every transaction. But I've learned so much, so much. And so I'm so grateful for that, even though some mornings I'm like, oh, I don't want to get up and answer my phone. I mean, it's a real feeling, you know, but I'm super grateful for the opportunity that I've got to be here, because it has grown me so much, and I've grown and have all these awesome relationships with you guys. So I'm just excited to keep pushing that forward and growing those relationships. So
I think, excuse me, the low parts for me in the last 4 years have been my health. Because I've always been a real super healthy guy. I was a world-class athlete at one time, and just to not be able to be at that level bothers me. But life, deals you some cards. You play the darn things, So I don't really worry about it anymore. In real estate, I haven't really worried about my business because I just plug away at it. I'm just an old plugger, and I don't worry about it. I just keep going. And I have that quality about me of stick-to-itiveness. I just never give up. And that's one of the frustrating things about real estate is that I've learned I'm not in control. As much as I think I am on a transaction, I'm not. You're dependent on lots of people to do their part inside and outside of the transaction. So you have to learn to give that up, put it in God's hands, and just keep control, keep composure, and it'll all work out okay. It's not as intense as you think it is, even though you often think you've got to answer that phone call. No, you don't. The odds of something being both urgent and important are near zero. There's important things and there's urgent things, and rarely do they meet. Just keep that in mind. So, you got to take care of business, but don't let it get to you. And so I think the low part for me has been the false starts that I've had because of health reasons. But I have a lot of highs. I mean, I really am excited, excited for the business. I'm excited to watch this organization, this micro organization grow like a weed. And it's just fun. It's just flat fun.
Thank you guys again for coming up here. I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions. You're not off the hook yet. Okay. Not off the hook yet, but first of all, I want to thank you guys for being so honest and vulnerable and transparent, because I know that's more meaningful than any printout or sheet piece of code, like anything, any slideshow you could provide an agent. It's just your real life experience. And I know it's kind of hard to pinpoint this, but in the last couple of years since you've been here, what's one major challenge that you faced in your business, and what did you do to overcome it? If you can think of anything. It could be several. Because I know real estate, right? So I think a lot of it, it does here too. The reason I'm digging this deep is because you guys are going to reach those challenges or can relate currently right now. So what is one challenge that you uniquely had? Was it hiring? Was it doing a team, or was it transaction? There you go.
All right. There's a ton of challenges, but I think for us it was making the decision to hire someone. We had Hector's little sister helping us, which was great, but it's very different when you have someone like on payroll and now you need to represent, you got to walk the walk and talk the talk. You can't just me and her would just be like, are you gonna wear leggings today? Me too, because girl, I didn't put my makeup on today, right? Because she would just work at my house and it was fine. But when we hired a legit admin with experience who has worked for corporate companies and all this stuff, it was oh damn, I can't be showing up in my leggings, I need to walk the walk for this girl. And that was a big challenge. Mostly on my husband's side because of the fear of the money that was going to go out. Just doing the numbers in his head. He's a numbers guy and he has some mad money programs that he just likes to know that we're good. And having this other life, that you want to create opportunity for was a big decision for us to make. But at the same time, we're not growing. We did the exact same number of transactions for the last 2 years. Mind you, I think I had 9 people pass away, immediate family, in the last 2 years. So it's been, I'm giving us some grace. However, if we would have had that leverage, we probably could have still grown even though. So kind of realizing that we needed help and that this investment was going to kind of pay for itself, and just losing the fear of failure. That was probably the hardest thing. And I'm one of those people, I just kind of like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, like, we'll just like do more work. We'll just work more. Like, that's kind of my mindset, but he's very careful and calculated. So working through that was the biggest thing. And then the hiring process was gruesome, but I mean, we got someone amazing, so I'm excited. And then there's more things that come with having employees. And so now there's a fear of that. And so it just kind of keeps coming back. So I don't know if you ever overcome it all the way.
So it's constant struggle.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
So I think my biggest struggle is focusing and staying on the money-making activities. Sticking to my calendar schedule, you block off 2 hours, 3 hours for lead gen. And somebody says, let's go to lunch or let's go get our toes done or something like that. So I think sticking to the schedule has always been and still is my biggest downfall. It's hard. And as Sophia has says, okay, so what's the one thing or the thing that you're going to change that's going to get you to your goal of whatever the goal is at the end of the year? And it's that, to stick to those activities and say no to everything else if you haven't hit your goal at that time where you should be. So for me, it's sticking to my calendar and focusing on the money-making activities. I think also to kind of match with Aurora, I do have an admin, and just the fear of, will I be able to support her and me and keep producing enough and consistently to pay her and pay me. So I think no matter what, you just have to trust in the process and it will come.
So I'll piggyback on that. The most challenging thing for me has been to be on a schedule, to be in the office every day, because I worked from home for so long. But it's a total change, just being here, getting up, getting dressed nice, all that stuff. And that comes from being here. And you feel better about yourself. You really do. And you just feel like, okay, I need to be productive. I'm going to do things today instead of just do this at home or whatever. So that's been the most challenging for me, is being on more of a set schedule and setting up a schedule with my agents and all of that. But I think that's the biggest thing for your business, is time blocking your time and doing productive activities with that time, because we all have a little bit of ADHD. So I don't think you can be in this business if you're not. Yeah. So, that's just really important. But I've worked on that. Like this year I created a calendar, different things like that to help leverage my time. So there's, systems you can put in place to leverage all your time and use it wisely, so you're getting the most out of your day.
I have to go with that too. Time blocking is critical in this business. And I think it's critical in a lot of businesses, but I think even more so in this one, because man, that 8-hour day goes by really quick. And you say, what the hell did I do today? Well, nothing, So if you don't actually purposefully do something, you won't do something. So I think you got to really block it out. And one thing Steve teaches in his class, the 100-day foundation, is time blocking. And I'll never forget the way he taught it. And it's a little different than the way I do it, but nevertheless, it works. So however you come up with your own system, do it and then live by it. One thing I don't do, which I did originally, because with your phones and that, you can set all the little alarms and that, like it's time to do this, bang, and a little ding goes on. The hell with that. I just check the calendar throughout the day and I say, okay, I got to do this in a half an hour. I got to go there, Don't let the phone rule you. You rule the phone. The phone is your tool. Let it be so. And I think you'll get so much more accomplished if you stay on at least a semi schedule. It doesn't have to be perfect, But, set your goals, set your time and block out things that need to be done. You know what needs to be done. You know what you can get by without. So just use your head and you'll just be amazed what you can get accomplished in an 8-hour or 10-hour day, whatever it is you choose to do.
You can. Okay. For Aurora, listen to the feedback I'm gonna give all of them, okay? That's okay, I'm here, I'm good. Oh, for the recording?
Well, yeah, because we're making a video, so if you
sorry.
could just.
Oh, sorry. So for what, it's who you're in business with matters, because like we all have these conversations. I mostly I have them with the girls and Jerry. So with Aurora, like when the time came to hire and everything. So now my next challenge for her is, because she found an assistant doesn't mean that she has to stop interviewing. So like now, like I'm gonna challenge her for Q2 to find at least 3 more candidates, because she's only one health issue away, one heartbeat away, one car accident away, one better opportunity for her assistant away from losing that assistant. So when you're building a business, you cannot go backwards if someone leaves. So that's been the most painful lesson for me as a business owner, is not having a bench. Not having a bench is it is the biggest flaw in business, period. You have an assistant, you train them, and you can't assume they're always gonna be there. So my advice to her is, great, you found Belle, great, find 4 more Bells at all times. And so that means every Tuesday she has to constantly be interviewing people. Okay. Talent Tuesdays. And for Elena, sticking to a calendar, one of the things that I learned, and all of you that struggle with the time blocking, I hear everybody say that. The only reason is because and this is a lot of my fault, because as a leader, I've been duplicating myself and other people around me, because I'm a firefighter. Okay. Like I put up the big old fires. And then like the little fires, I ignore those. Like I could just put up, I wait till they get big enough, right? So what happens is, if you read the book, the Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, from habit 3 or 4 came a whole book called First Things First. So it explains that the reason you never have enough time is because you always focus on the urgent, not the important. So you have to understand, like I got off my coaching call, that's why I was late to the meeting. My coaching call right before this, and I'm dealing with someone that has a net worth of $100 million, multiple businesses, and more, young guy, 40 years old, right? And talking to him, and when we talk about the conversations we have, they're very painful. Like I told him, oh, this call, I only try to commit suicide once, okay? Because it's like these are tough conversations that you have to have, but it's because when you focus on the urgent, you don't do the important. So he showed me his Sunday calendar, and he's telling me like he's running like 10 businesses, and he's like, he doesn't focus on what's the urgent thing I have to do for this business right now. No, it's like, what's the most important thing I have to do for the business, not urgent. If not, that's why you run out of time, because you focus on fires and fires. And another thing is that I noticed that like we always focus on what's the most, we focus on, and like you come in with a set plan, but then you get a phone call and you're off the plan. Like for example, like I have a plan to prospect, I'm gonna do this. And then I put a listing on, now you get 10 phone calls from agents. So now you're answering the phone calls from agents versus doing what you're supposed to do. So if it means you get a office phone or a different phone to make your calls and ignore your cell phone, maybe you shouldn't be running your business on one cell phone then. If you get that distracted, maybe you should have a second one. You could add another plan for $10. Maybe you add a voicemail. Maybe like Gary Keller calls it, and the one thing, build a bunker. Whatever it is that's interrupting you. So that's the only thing, because I tell Jennifer, she's not here, and I tell her, Jennifer is my assistant, but she's really everybody else's assistant, not mine sometimes. And I've been teaching her, and she's been growing so much, and that's why it's been beautiful, because what happens is that you are everybody else's. You don't leverage. Like for example, like one of the things I learned is that I don't go to the pictures of my listings. I choose to never not be that agent, because my time's too valuable. My dollar per minute is not worth it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like it's not worth it. So there's some things. So I know everybody, I wanted to step in and say this, because I heard time blocking, right? And understand that this is what's stopping you from the life you want. You're focusing on urgent. You come in, title needs this, you run and get that. Oh, before you know it, it's lunchtime. And then after lunch, you have to pick up the kids, and then the day's done. Does that make sense? So understand that until you realize, like I literally can have someone that says, I'm thinking of selling my house.
And I used to be that agent that was like, a listing, like everything else gets put on plan B. I don't do that anymore. I'm like, awesome, can we talk at 4 o'clock? And they say yes. Because you cannot, nothing is non-negotiable to get in the way. And for Elena, when she says, can I afford the assistant? What did I teach you about affording your assistant?
Oh, to make them pay for themselves. So our assistant, one of her requirements was for her to bring in 4 deals within the first year. And she's like constantly talking to people because she has to bring in 4 deals. So
I made it part. So when I told Elena, when I told Aurora that, her eyes were like, okay, I could do this. I was like that. I go, just make them pay for themselves.
Yeah.
Make them pay for themselves, and by bringing in transactions to you, why would they refer anyone else if they work for you? So then she's like, Sophia, I have 3 appointments in her first week. I go, yeah, because if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
If you don't set that expectation, it's not going to happen. Now she's constantly looking for business.
yeah, she sets the example for us too. Like she's like, yeah, if I go to the post office, I give them a card. If I go to the grocery store, I give them a card, you know, because she needs to bring in those 4 deals. And I'm like, dude, I don't even do that all the time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but,
So,
yeah.
all right. Was this helpful? Was this helpful?
I want to reiterate this. Everybody's saying focus on money making activities. You guys have your own ideas of what that is. So what exactly is money making ideas, activity, Sophia?
What's your only job as a realtor? 4 things. Where are they? Lead generation. What else? Appointments.
Conversion.
Going on appointments. Just understand, you have a choice to make. Everybody can run their business their way. There's no judgment here. But let me tell you, the busiest agents I know are the ones that are selling between anywhere from 8 to 15 houses. They're the busiest. They work harder than my friends that have 10 businesses and make $1 million a year. Because they're constantly busy. I have to go to this, I have to network, I have to do it. Like you do anything except prospecting. Like, you will fill your calendar up. So to me, money making activities is speaking to people. You have 2 choices. It's not complicated, guys. To succeed in real estate, you have to know what to say. You need enough people to say it to, and you need to say it enough times. That's it. Very simple. What to say is scripts. Enough people to say it to is leads, and say enough times is prospecting. It's not complicated. And you're either going to talk to people you know or people you don't know. People you've met, people you haven't met. You're Mets and not Mets. It's proven. If you have how many deals, what did your coach tell you? If you have how many deals in the database, it's a percentage.
So we had 650, so 65 should have came up.
Yeah, so it's 10% of whatever people you have in your database should turn into transactions a year. Everything's math. Everything's math. Everything it is. So just understand, if you understand something's getting in the way of the life you want, and it's because you're choosing to. One of the things you guys already know, I don't run errands during work hours. People that work with me know I never do. I don't even I cook lunch here, okay? But I just literally, like, I take it. I will never go get my toes done in the middle of the day. Like, run errands, go to lunches that are not like, I just don't. My family doesn't call me. They know I don't have time to chit chat. Something important. That's why if they call me, my heart like beats, because I'm like, it's something important, like something happened. Because they don't call me just to shoot the breeze because they know I'm at work, right? Because it's about work-life balance, right? Like when I'm with them, I'm not on my phone. I don't care if a listing calls. I'm not gonna talk to them. I'm gonna be with my parents. The present where you're at, you know? So that's my idea of what money-making activities is. If you need to be talking to people. This is a contact sport. The more people you want to sell more houses, go talk to more people. You know, when they asked what is the name of the artist? Taylor Swift, how did you sell 1 million albums? She said, oh, I went and met 1 million people. It's just really how you do it. Hey, that's just how you do it, right? Like, you want to succeed, talk to more people. I had that realization with my health recently. I was talking to an agent and I said, I just promise you that you're not going to succeed if you don't prospect. Guaranteed. Like, it's impossible. Like, you will not succeed, period. If you're not talking to people, like, there's the one thing you can do aside from everything. Everything else is important, but not everything else is urgent, not important. Like, important is prospecting. So when I heard that, I told myself, like, if you don't do the activities, like if I do not plan my meals, if I don't go to the gym, if I don't drink water, if I don't get enough rest, am I going to succeed? No. Like, I'm not going to have if I don't look for ways to reduce stress and create mental health, am I going to succeed? No. So it's impossible. Yes. Like I've tried the eat whatever you want and lose weight diet. It has not worked for me. Hey, that don't work out. How many of you have tried that one with me? Let's be real. and then you get disappointed when the scale goes up. It's like, what are you doing? It's like the same with the agents. Like, they're like, I'm not prospecting, and they're mad. I don't have any checks. I'm not prospecting, but I don't have any checks. Like, come on, so when it applies to any area of your life is what I'm trying to say. It applies to, if you do the work, it's gonna happen guaranteed. If you're not talking to enough people, it's not gonna happen guaranteed. It's up to you. We provide all the resources, training and support, encouragement. We spend a lot of hours. I'm paying, I don't know how much on salaries, over 150,000 a year in salaries or more. Yeah, he's like, yeah, a couple 100,000. I'm writing big checks to make sure you guys have support and enough staff and everything here. So I'm doing my part. You guys just have to do your part. All right, thanks.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Sorry, I forgot where I was going with all this. I'm just kidding. All right. Jeez, I forgot, man. I'm just kidding. So I'm going to bring it back into the panel. And now time's a little bit on a crunch, but it's okay. I want to just say something really quick while I have your attention here. The panel is going to continue asking 2 more important questions that you do not want to miss. We do have the vision speech and state of your company that's going to play right after this. I recommend you watch it. It's with Gary Keller and all the leaders of our company, Mark King and Jason Abrams. For those of you that went to Family Reunion, you were able to see it in person. And you guys, this is going to discuss, it's going to have slides within it and facts that you can throw into your buyer's presentations, your listing presentations. Knowing the real estate, we're all in real estate, right? Am I wrong? Are you in real estate? So knowing the state of the, industry that we're in, there you go. Knowing the state of the industry that you're in is very important. So stick around because we also have a happy hour starting at 4:30. And we're gonna have some hors d'oeuvres, right? How do you pronounce it? Hors d'oeuvres? What? He says hors d'oeuvres. And some drinks later on by Tono Funding, okay? So if you guys have to step out for a little bit, just be back. We come back at 4, okay? We have to leave, right? But I'm gonna continue with the panel. All right, bring it back into some more questions now that the OP yelled at you guys. All right, you know what to do. Stick to a schedule. But I'm gonna bring it back in and ask you guys 2 things. And I did go off track a little bit. Sorry about that. I had it all set up. Okay, so dang. All right, just kidding. I remember now. All right, I just got stuck. I had a moment. All right, I had a moment. So the most important question that I have for you guys is what's one training or one class, personal or professional, that you've done since you've been with KW that has really changed your business, your mindset, or whatever it may be? One training, one class that you can recommend right now to people in the crowd, personal, professional, that you've done with KW since you've been here. Just one. Or 2, please. Any class you guys
Yeah, I mean, I think every class I've taken at KW, I've gotten something significant out of it. But the one thing that I think is the most important that I've done is I've read the book, The One Thing.
Read The One Thing.
Yeah, get yourself a copy of it. It's easy read, it's short. You can read it multiple times, but it keeps you focused. And that's the whole key to this business, is being focused, right? So, and the MREA is a good book too, but it can overwhelm you with systems and things. But if you read The One Thing, you'll focus in on what you need to do whatever you want to do. And so I would encourage that. That's the biggest important thing for me.
Woo! So for me, I want to say Bold has been super amazing. And I think I'm 3 times Bold. And then 5, Steve's class, 5 steps to 50 million. So those are must haves. You have to take them.
And they're starting this month. You guys, those classes, with Steve Ryder?
Yes.
I'm gonna give you a clear perspective. Steve Ryder, #3 agent in the world for Keller Williams. His net income from just that one business was $6 million last year. Because he's an investor here, you guys get to learn from him. Those classes, right now, he just got a contract he sells them to market centers, and agents have to pay, they have to pay $3.95 to attend. You guys get it for free because he's my partner. But because it's free, no one shows up because they think it's free. Like, please, I just, Steve Ryder goes, okay, they charge them $500 so they can come. Like, that's how it works. People don't see value in things that don't cost them things.
Right.
You know? And I'm like, no, I don't want them to pay. I was like, the next time we'll charge you. But like this time. Yeah, so yes. It's
There's a link.
how do we sign up?
There's a link.
It's on the Facebook.
Yeah.
On Facebook, there's a link, and then
You just register on the
It's like
link.
non-negotiable, like if
Yeah.
you take it that soon, you're not gonna miss a single session, you're gonna do it.
So that's what I would say, the 100-day foundation, if you're a newer agent or not even a newer agent, it starts April 4th, Monday, 8 a.m. Zoom. So do that one. It's really good. And then Ignite is really awesome for agents. Yes. Ignite is really good as a new agent to do again. And it just walks you through the tasks you're supposed to be doing in a format. So if you do those, we all have business. So it's really good just to walk through Ignite, and it's on KW Connect, so you can do it anytime at your own pace. So I would say those two.
Got that, people watching in YouTube?
For me, I would say bold and career visioning. So bold first, because you need leads. Once you have too many leads, you need a team, then you go to career visioning. So career visioning, like I told Sophia, I want to master it. I want to teach it. I want more of that class, because it really, like, it has changed our business. And I'm seeing other businesses not being ran like that. And I just want to provide that value to them too, like to my clients and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that one. But yeah, bold and then career visioning for sure. And they're both expensive, but they're worth it.
Thank you. Awesome. Give them a round of applause one more time, you guys. I know, we went over a little bit. Okay, and I guess just to wrap it up, thank you once again for being on the panel and talking. And I'm sticking around. We'll have some drinks and food for you guys later, and I have some gift cards to give each and every one of you. I have a thank you card for you guys, okay? So I'll give it to you before the end of the day in a picture. But to wrap this up, I guess I'll just leave it up to like a final, man, what's the final thing? So since your time you've been here, everything that you've accomplished so far, what's one thing that you would like to just put out there? It could be advice, it could be a lesson learned, or what's one thing that you implemented in the last year that you wish you would have known when you first started?
I wish I would have started.
Wait, what?
I wish I would have started here. I wish I would have wasted my time at the other brokerage, and I wish I would have started here, honestly.
I love that answer.
Yeah, I wish I would have started here. Because you don't know what you don't know. And the people that I've tried to recruit to come here, they just don't know. They don't know what we're about. But if you just open your mind and just remove any limiting beliefs and just come and just see and listen, you don't know what you don't know.
I would say, like, advice, whatever makes you the most uncomfortable is probably what you should be doing. So I know they say, like, oh, find something that you love and then go do that. Yeah, that's great. But I feel like in the most uncomfortable situations that we have been in is where we've grown the most. So I would say that, like, if you don't like talking to people, or you don't like making calls, you don't like it, this is a business, you know, like we're not, this isn't like a playground where we just want to have fun all the time. Money's fun. Y'all can have fun once you have the money. So I just think, like, just do what you have to do to get to where you want to get. And, like, if it makes you uncomfortable, like, still do it, you know? I admire my husband so much because he's so dedicated to throwing that headset on and making those calls. And he's grown to love it. It's weird, but like, it's just like, because of all the things that he has done in the past 5-6 years, like, we're kind of like cruising right now and deals are just coming in. So you just have to do the work. So if you're uncomfortable, do it. If you don't know it, teach it, you know, that kind of stuff. And that's,
Know it, teach it, come talk to us, email Kirsten.
yeah, it's my advice.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I think my advice, because I'm always the loving one, but be easy, like, not easy on yourself, but real estate's hard. You're gonna get phone slammed on you. You're going to get mean agents. You are going to want to give up a lot. So, but just keep pushing, because it's normal. It's part of the process. And I think a lot of us get into this thinking it's gonna be easy. And we give up easily. And I think all of you are capable, everyone that's in here, and you guys showed up to a great, amazing office. You have all the support here, but I will share, we are human too. All of us, all of our team. And I think that's what makes us awesome is we are all here for each other. We have a great culture, but we're human. We make mistakes sometimes too. And so if we can just have grace for each other, there's not enough of that in our industry. And so be the agent that when you don't get your phone picked up, or, someone you're trying to get into a listing, don't be that agent, be better, because we want our industry to be better. And so that's what I love here is we try to be, we are the best office in this area, so yes. So I think that's just important. Always hold your culture, always, always.
I think those are good points. I mean, I can't disagree with the fact that we have this amazing culture here. And we tend to forget about it on a day-to-day basis, but make it part of who you are as a human being. And you'll be surprised how it'll carry you through the day. When you know that you always do the right thing, you always treat people fairly with honesty, the time just flows by and you don't have to worry about looking over your shoulder all the time, who's going to catch you doing something wrong. Just keep working hard, keep your nose to the grindstone, so to speak, and you'll be surprised what will come out on the other end. I'm excited for everybody in this room. I can't wait to see what happens in the next 12, 14 months with everybody in here. So good luck to everybody.
I wanted to just add, because there's like new agents, and I've told this story a couple of times, but I think it's hilarious, but it's like super meaningful because when Hector first started real estate, he would put on a full suit and go door knock, like in the summertime. Like he was great, like tie, like everything. And for the first 7 months, he would knock probably 150 to 200 doors a day. And his mindset, like he's a provider, like he's like, I was like, I got it. I got a job. Like, you're good. Go do your thing. But to him, it was like he needed to provide. So he was like intense about it. And he didn't sell anything for like 7 months. And he would come home and he would be like he cried a couple times, like it was pretty, like it was breaking him down. And I would just tell him like, dude, it's okay. It's okay. And I would encourage him. And then there was this one day he came home and this is when he was too scared to knock at like more expensive homes. It was like the hood, it was like Paris. And he said that he parked and he had gotten nothing that day. And this guy came up to him and he like was trying to like intimidate him. And he was like, give me $20, like trying to get $20 off Hector. And Hector was so like, he's not a fighter. Like he's not like, that's not my husband. But he was like, I haven't made any money in the last 6 months. You give me $20. And the dude was like, oh, my bad. Like, like it was like a moment that he had, but then, yeah, but then on month number 7, he got his first deal and he double ended it and he ended up with 7 deals in that month. So it goes to show you, like, some people do have that story where, oh, in their first year, they did 30 deals and they did blah, blah, blah. Like, we did not have that story, like, at all. But like, he didn't stop. Like, he wasn't gonna let it beat him, and he knew it was gonna come, and he knew that that's what he wanted to do. So like, that's huge. Like, you have to know that this is what you want to do, or else it's just, you're not gonna have the passion for it. So like, that's one of my favorite stories, because like, I'm telling you, he was going through it. But
And take it back a little bit, because that's a tough part, you guys. It's just, we do talk about what's possible, because we say success is simple, not easy. So a lot of you, we try not to paint the picture that it's easy. It's just very simple. It is very, very simple things, simple activities. You prospect. We all know what we have to do. We just don't do it, like Sophia said. We know how, I know I have to go to the gym and eat healthy, but I ate ramen this morning, right? But it's baby steps. We all know what we have to do. It's very simple, but you have to stay consistent with it, because I can't just go work out tonight and then wake up with abs tomorrow morning, right? No, And I get the call all the time, and I'm glad Jacqueline touched on the leadership perspective, is that we're human too. We're trying our best to provide everything possible. We're like, here's all this great info, go do it. And I can't go do it for you, but it takes time. Some people, like, I'm so glad that you touched on that, because for some people, they do have the success. Like for me, my first year being an ISA cold caller was easy. Like, it wasn't easy, it was very hard, but I set a lot of appointments, by calling, because I had to. I really, really had to. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity, that I was able to, and if you haven't done it yet, force yourself to do it, because I had to do it. That's how I made money, was cold calling, and I did it because I had to. So now if I ever go back to that, I'm gonna do it because I have to, in a different perspective, different mindset. So it's simple, because I learned the activities and learned what I had to do. I had to get hung up on several times, and it was a different market at the time too. We had a lot of expireds at that time, and the market, but it takes time. I get calls all the time. You Jacqueline get calls all the time, and I hear your frustrations for the newer agents. Well, I've done this for the last week and no calls. I've done this. I did it for I went door knocking for the entire week, Jay, and man, that don't work. It does not work. You guys do it one time. Or I tried cold calling. I called 5 people yesterday. Or I called this dialer company for I was on for an hour, but it didn't work because no one answered. And I get it. You're laughing because some of you in here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, it's funny, but at the same time, it's a common. You're stopping yourself. Only you know you're cheating yourself. I can give you all the activities in the world, and we can go back on a Wednesday morning call, and you can say that you did something. But it's not gonna make a difference in my life, my paycheck, what you guys do or don't do. But it does matter to me as a person, as your leader here, because I do want you guys to succeed. It does break my heart when you guys are months and not getting somewhere, but I just want to say stick to it, and the activities will pay off eventually. And don't be so hard on yourself. Continue to come and constantly learn and grow, you guys. Don't miss opportunities, because there's tons of opportunities just being in the right place in the right time. Part of the struggle is showing up. So show up for yourselves and have leverage, like Jacqueline says some people miss. Yeah, please.
I just want to share too, I know I had this conversation this morning with an agent. Okay, I just want to learn exactly what I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, let's get a transaction and you'll learn exactly what you're supposed to do. It is the truth, because it's hard to, I know everyone thinks different, but I'm just let's just get in there and do it. And I'll go through the trenches with you. But some people just want to learn so much, and you're never going to learn everything in this business. Every transaction that I've had has been different. I'm sure you guys can all say the same. There's always something. And, that's part of the PC program. I'll help you walk through that, obviously, but you're never going to learn everything. So just keep talking about yourself, getting your name out there, get the transactions, and then you'll grow and you'll see. It's hard to jump in. Nobody wants to jump into the cold end of the deep end of the pool. It's scary, but that's how you learn and grow. So I just wanted to share that, because I think it's a scary thing.
I thought that too, because I thought I had to memorize all these scripts, but then Sophia, my mom, said, pick up the phone and call and you'll get this amount of money. I was like, oh, money. I was like, okay. So you guys, it's funny. It's a mind trick, because I wasn't able to do it. But as soon as she told me there's a reward at the end, I was dialing. Yeah. Do that for yourself. Do the $20 game where you get a bunch of $5 bills, and every time someone hangs up on you, put it to the side. That's how much money you earn that minute. That someone answered the phone. Do whatever you have to do to reward yourself. Because it's funny what we do for a paycheck and drive. Some of us were commuting prior to this. I was in the military. I did a lot of things for a small paycheck as a veteran. Yeah. But that's my advice too. And I'm letting you close it out for our OP.
Yeah, I want to close it out. One thing you want to remember is protect your minutes. Just remember, like you heard me say earlier, as an agent, when I was a new agent, I worked 50 hours a week and sold 18 homes my first year. Okay. But I worked 100 hours a week to do that. And the reason was because I wanted to be this agent that was I was there when the appraiser went, I was there when the photographer went, I was at the home inspection an hour before. I invested so much time in unnecessary situations where my time would have been better utilized, looking for more business. So always look for ways to just protect your minutes. Do not think that, because another thing that what I mean by that is also that sometimes there's a false illusion that because you're building a rapport with someone, you're like, this person could potentially give me business. You're spending 30, 45 minutes talking to somebody because you're building a relationship with them. I'm sorry, that's a waste of time. To me, it's you meet someone, tell them what you do for a living, and Like it's like you just could waste all day long doing that. One time I realized that as an agent, I had a listing and like today, like I literally during this meeting, I have, I don't know how many, but look how many missed calls. I have all these missed calls and all the ones I took, I would say I probably have like 16 missed calls that I have to return back. And I'm sorry, but like, I'm gonna let them call Jennifer or let them find out the information because it's 17 agents and I'm gonna be professional, but I'm not gonna call them on their time, I'm gonna call them on my time. And that's one thing you have to learn. Like if I just answer my phone all day, I will never get anything done. This market center will shut down and fail. Does that make sense? Like I cannot just do what other people expect me to do. You're doing what's urgent for them, And I'm like, sorry, like I will return my call during my callback time block this afternoon. In the meantime, I need to do what's important, not urgent. Yeah. All those agents want to tell me, I respect them and I have a good relationship with agents and I treat them with respect. They all want to tell me how their client loves my new listing on Maloof in Fontana. That's all they want to tell me. So when I answer, I go, hi, is this about Maloof? Yes, I know your client loves it. Show it after 3 o'clock today. I'll present offers as they come in. Anything else you need to know? No, okay, thank you. Like I control the conversation. Because if not, I don't have 30 minutes. Because if you think about it, what's 16 times 30 minutes? How much is that? How many hours is that? That's how many hours? I would never get anything done, yeah? So I don't have time for that. So I give them no more than 3 minutes. So I go 3 minutes versus 30 minutes. Because if they want to build, I'm the listing agent, they want their offer accepted, they want to build rapport with me. Does that make sense? But I'm impressed if you don't waste my time. Whoever doesn't waste my time, I won't be impressed by that. Protect your time, protect your minutes, you guys. Why do you guys believe that there's realtors that run and own multiple businesses and have more time off, more work-life balance than you do? What are they doing? They're protecting their minutes. You think Steve Ryder, think of everything he has to do, right? Or think of, I know my friend Emily. My friend Emily has 3 small kids in sports. And I'm like, okay, her goal is to go to a net worth of whatever, 12 million by the end of the year. And she was broke 10 years ago. Like her minutes are very, very, very protected. Protect your minutes, protect your minutes, protect your minutes. Got it? Read the one thing that teaches you how to build those systems. And then Stephen Covey. And come to me for book suggestions. I have a whole library. Okay. You guys, I want to introduce you to somebody. Come up here. You guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This lady and I have been friends for a few years. I called her when I was launching the lakes 4 years ago. And this lady used to own a Century 21 in Menifee for 11 years. And she's been a manager broker for many of like a lot of the brokerages in town. She's an amazing, amazing top producer. And she has just joined our family, you guys. Watch out, she's coming for y'all. She's amazing and she's just an amazing woman. So welcome to our family, Robin. Give her the KW welcome, you guys. Okay? Yeah. Okay,
So I have a thank you card for each and every one of you. Can I hug you guys? Yeah. Thank you
All right.
guys so much for being on the
Thank you.
panel. All right, for everybody that's in the crowd, go ahead and do a restroom break. New ladies, please do not miss the vision speech. This is for Robert Union. We don't have access to none of it. The video's gonna go away. It's here forever. Let's go. We're gonna play it. Go ahead, use your